JC Miller, Cross Plus Outdoors. Welcome. Hey, part two of our handsaw here. We're going to be doing a leather pouch. If you joined us for part one, what we did is we took a old, actually not an old, but a new chainsaw blade that was an oddball size, fit a 12-inch bar, and we went in and made a, I hope you can see that well. We cut it and put some leather handles on it, put some keychain rings on it, and we're gonna make this into a handsaw. But part two is going to be doing a leather sheath for this that we can throw it right on our pack. As mentioned before, last one I had was an old Winchester one I had for years. It's really good quality. I gave it to my son. He's going to go out and buy one, and they're junk today. That's my opinion. They're just pure junk. They don't last. They're not sharp. So we just take a chainsaw blade. You'll find them on sale though. If you pay regular price for them, it's really not going to be real feasible by the time you do that. Buy the half-inch keychain rings, leather straps, and stuff like that. They'll get a little pricey, but okay. Back on the bench. Like the bench. All right. So we've got our handsaw here, and what we're going to do. So we're going to get it all curled up here. Okay. So the handles will stick out, which is fine. We'll probably have them, let's say, stick out the side. Okay. Let's try to get this flat. We'll have them stick out the side. We don't need them in the actual pouch. Okay. So you always want to make a pattern. Maybe not always, but I guess as much as you can, make a pattern. That way you're not wasting any leather at all. Okay, so we've got that kind of in the corner there. I think what this will look like, just to kind of give everyone an idea, is something like this, and then the flap will be something like this with a button closure. Okay, so it'll come up like that. That's kind of what we're probably looking at. Just move this like this. Anyways, we're going to build a pattern. I'm not going to bore you with all the details because I do not want to do that, but I just kind of want to show you what the idea is. Okay, so stay tuned. Alright, like I said in the past, you want to maximize your leather, so we're going to maximize this pattern in here, and we're going to just trace out the outside, and we're going to get the pattern done, and then this is the back piece, and then we'll lay out the front piece. Okay. Alright, so we wet the pieces so they're a little bit easier to cut. Be honest, they're tough. Dry leather is tough on your knives, so make sure you keep your knives sharp. I'm going to sharpen this. I'll chop it when I'm done. And this is the top part, like we talked about. Okay, we're trying to maximize our leather as much as possible. So we're going to get these. We're going to get these cut out, and we'll be ready to go on the next step. Okay. Alright, we've got these two pieces together. This is going to be the flap, okay, where the snap goes. Alright, so we're going to do some beveling on all of this, front and back. We've got to, I think we're probably going to stain this one, or dye it, excuse me. We're going to dye this one. But anyways, we've got a bunch of work we're going to do. I'll take you through a few of the steps pretty quick, but and then we're going to especially work on the edges. All right. Okay, we're going to end here for the night, but you can kind of see what this is looking like. So there it is laid out inside. We're going to be careful because our stitch starts here, okay, right here where this hole's at that I made, because this comes over like this. We're going to have to be cautious on where this comes in, because we have to put the chain in still, right? We've got to put it in when we're done. So we may end this over here somewhere, then make just this some fake stitching wheel, but may end the stitching right about here. So we keep this thing open in order to put the chain in here, okay? But that's preliminary what it's going to look like. So this is going to hang out here, which is what we talked about. We can even curl this thing in a little bit more. All we're trying to do is protect the chain, protect our bag. That's it. This is nothing fancy. If we wanted to be perfect, I'd be spending a lot more time at it, but this is the idea of what we're looking at. Okay? So, looking pretty good. Get the stitching in there. We're going to dye these pieces first, so that's going to be our next step. We've got the groove in there. Once we dye it, then we'll wet it again. This is a couple-day process. That's the problem with leather. It takes a while if you do it right. But this is what it's going to turn out to be. Have these handles hanging out like this. Nice pouch. Throw it in our bag. Everything's protected. Be able to take it out, open the snap, pull the chain out, and off we go to work. So it's turned out good. Everybody's probably asking me, should we put a belt loop on it? I don't know. We'll think about it. Maybe. I don't know if we're really going to carry it on our belt. Maybe we could put it up and make it part of a molly. Let me think about that. Okay, we've got this part cut out. It's the next day, so apologize if I'm going over something again. We're going to cut the welt out, okay, because of the thickness of this chain. We're going to give it about that much of a thickness. This is a scrap piece of leather I've laying around. Problem with welts is you waste some leather sometimes, but that's okay. It's just a piece of heavy rusted. Anyways, we're going to get this drawn out and cut out, so I'll be back to you. Alright, we'll get that cleaned up. So I try to maximize whatever piece of leather I have, because you never know when you're going to need it. Let's bring this back over here. just roughly lay it in place here. That's about what it's going to look like. We're going to have to clean up these edges on the sander, but that's about what we're going to be looking at there. Okay, and that piece will sew right in. Alright, so get a few more things laid out and we'll get the glue on. Okay, we're going to glue weld in place here, right? And put that back in there. So I forgot to mark it. So we know where the glue is at. There and there. So we're going to have to let this part dry. We're not going to be able to do anything with it. And then we're going to glue the next piece in place. Now because this is so thick, so I need it thick. I'm going to be wetting this leather in order to punch through it. So we're going to do that later. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it tonight. That's the problem with leather. It takes quite a bit of time because of the steps you have to take in between. We are also going to dye this leather, so that's going to take some time. You don't need a ton of glue because you don't want it running out the side, so always be careful with the amount of glue, and we're going to put some stuff on her just to hold it. But anyways, we're going to dye it, so that'll take another step. We might be able to get with dyeing it tonight. I think we might dye it tonight, and then we could sew it. We could sew it tomorrow. Anyways, this is our next step. We're going to let it dry and come back at you. Okay, real quick update. Do this before I go to work. We went in, it dried overnight, and I'm sorry I missed a step, but since we had such a thick edge because of the weld for 2 pieces of leather, I'm going to bring you over here. I actually put it onto a drum sander here on the drill press. Okay, and my drill press is not in the best spot, but anyways, we sanded this and got these edges down. Okay, let me put you back down. Got these edges down. I still have to work on them. We're still going to sand them, but all the roughness is off. You can see they're now even. Remember we talked last night about them not being even. Okay, so at least now I have something to work with, and we'll get those polished up. And I also went ahead and set the holes for the snap, because I did forget to do that, especially before we put these pieces together. So we're going to have a little obviously a little snap, and that's what that's going to look like. We're not going to put it on right now because I'm going to dye the leather, but at least it's there. Anyways, I wanted to give you a quick update, and we'll see you this evening. Okay, welcome back. It's a couple days later. I got ahead of myself. That's why this isn't done, but I kind of got ahead of myself and got on a roll, and then forgot to turn the camera on. But we've got it stitched up, which I didn't like. I didn't like how the stitching came out. Not happy with it. Anyways, I was trying to do some tooling on there. I didn't like how that came out. You know, when we were laying it out, or when I was laying it out, and you're trying to pattern it trying to pattern everything where it's almost a perfect snare, right? So it's flat. Trying to get the handles just right so they come out of the pouch, and then you go to pick it up and it becomes a mess again, which I don't know why I didn't think about that. So now you're trying to put it into the pouch, and it's hard to go in. So I'm going to work past that on the next one. It's going to work, but let's get up to speed where we're at though. So I started to do the edges. Now I'm going to use a beeswax and a paraffin on here, and we're going to get them polished up. They're not polished to where I want them. If you can see that, they have a ways to go. We're going to put snap on here. I think we talked about that in another one. So we'll get the snap on there like that, and then we're going to coat this. We're gonna polish it up. So, anyways, let me get going. But I wanted to give you an update again. Apologize for skipping some steps. Just got ahead of myself. Didn't turn the camera on, and then I got frustrated and kept on going. And now we're here. And like I said, I think in another video, I'll be the biggest critique of my work. But always learning, right? Just heating that wax a little bit, because I've mentioned before in my other videos it gets cold out here in the shop, so I'm just going to go heat it up. There we go. we're going to let it dry now. And then we're going to come back and we're going to polish it up. Okay, so we're just going to lightly put a saddle soap on there, and then we're going to polish this. Okay, so that's what it looks like right now. One more polish, which is with a canvas cloth. I'm going to use not a real heavy duty canvas, I'm just going to use a light one. Okay, and we're just going to go over this like that. That's what we came up with. Hopefully you can see that okay. Alright, not my favorite. It came out okay. Make it cleaned up here and put the chain in. Okay, here's the finished result, which is our hand pocket saw and the leather pouch to house it. So we just took a chainsaw we got on clearance. That was an oddball size. I think it was a 12-inch. Put some half-inch split rings on there, some little keychain rings. See that? Wanted some straps. I didn't want nylon straps. And I think we talked about this at the beginning of the video. The ones that you could buy nowadays, they're cheap and they're just junk. They fall apart. They don't last. They're not sharp. And so, anyways, we wanted to make a pouch for it. I know we talked about a belt loop, but did not put a belt loop on. We're just gonna throw it in the pack. At least keeps the saw safe. We're gonna try it out this next weekend, right before the Christmas holiday. So I'll post a video on that. We'll see how it works. So I'm sure it's gonna work good. Anyways, sorry for the long video again, and appreciate you coming along. if we don't post another video before Christmas, I want to wish everybody Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and enjoy your next outdoor adventure and stay prepared.